After Baki returns to Japan, a team digging a tunnel discovers a prehistoric man hunting dinosaurs. Captain Stridum finds Baki and tells him a story about a man who is said to be stronger than a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Stridum refers to him as a caveman. Inside the tunnel, some workers discovered a Tyrannosaurus Rex and a primitive man. The man appears to be attacking a T-Rex. Professor Russell Brelin discovered seawater in New Mexico's 250-million-year-old rock star fault in 2000. He put microorganisms from that time period in a controlled environment with the perfect combination of nutrition, stimulation, and temperature. Every microorganism was revived after 120 days, and the salt in the 1,000-meter-thick rock salt layer protected them from the forces of time. The salt in a 1,000-meter-thick rock salt layer was used to revive the primitive man named Pickle, a Jurassic period man. Pickle's revival was a device attached to Pickle's body to measure psychological and neurological activity. Pickle lived during the Jurassic period, so the laboratory temperature was adjusted accordingly. Pickle has not awakened despite their best efforts, and the scientist named Alan believes the experiment failed, so he returns to the observation room to eat and read a magazine. Meanwhile, the famous scientist Albert discovers that T-Rex muscle tissue resembles Pickle's stomach tissue sample. He was confident the T-Rex wasn't hunting him, but he was chasing it. Alan prepares a steak with T-Rex meat, and the aroma was reminiscent of a T-Rex. As Pickle awakens after sleeping for 200 million years, he is surrounded by strange objects, but then a familiar odor, which he recognizes as that of a T-Rex, comes to him. Pickle is a man who has been awakened after sleeping for 200 million years. He is surrounded by an incomprehensible wall of light and transparent objects. Pickle goes towards the familiar scent, where he finds Alan and attempts to communicate with him. In fear, Alan accidentally pulls the trigger while attempting to attack Pickle, but the bullets are unable to penetrate the Jurassic warrior's abdominal muscles. Pickle lunges at Alan, shaking him, and Alan shuts the door behind him, imprisoning him. Alan calls the cops, who are determined to apprehend him alive. The police captain, Albert Payne, a Nobel laureate, notices Pickle's strength. Pickle scales the wall and attacks the police vehicles, demonstrating his incredible strength. The army has been sent to test a new top-secret weapon, the MPBM, that has been developing for 2.5 years. The MBM is a multi-purpose battle machine that can subdue a pride of lions, destroy tanks, and knit a sweater. The MBM will not be officially deployed until next year, but it has already been used for various tasks, including taming a pride of lions, destroying tanks, and yes, it really did knit that sweater. Albert explains that Pickle is defending his era as well as himself. Pickle lunges with his bare hands at the modern armor, punching through with one punch. The pilot is terrified and intends to kill Pickle, but Pickle is able to resist the robot's arm rotation, causing it to be damaged. Captain Stridum is given the order to deploy the most advanced tanks, attack helicopters, and best armed troops to capture Pickle. As he approaches Pickle, he feels more robust than ever, and he notices eyes that aren't looking at him as an enemy. Stridum is curious about Pickle's story, but he is unable to understand the words. He decides to take Pickle to Japan, where he will meet other people like him. A live TV broadcast is currently airing about a flight landing in Japan with a military crew on board. A primitive man thought to have been resurrected from the Jurassic period arrives, accompanied by a swarm of soldiers. There, the swarm of people try to interview him. However, they pay the price when a female reporter runs over to interview. The guards try and fail to stop her. Pickle, seeing a woman, loses control and goes all the way with her in public, and no one can stop him. After mating, he goes to sleep. In a live broadcast, Professor Albert tells the story of the dinosaurs from the Jurassic to the Cretaceous periods. When a massive meteor hit the Earth, a gigantic cloud of dust billowed into the atmosphere, blocking the sun's heat. The Earth was heated to the same temperature as space, and the impact shifted the Earth's crustal plates. This battle was preserved in the salt rock bedrock stratum, and the two beings discovered preserved in salt earlier were too severely damaged to resurrect. The incident at Honda Airport is tragic, because Pickle came from Earth 200 million years ago, and ordinary citizens' values and morals are not respected. The anger in the demonstration has reached a boiling point, and the U.S. military has made no comment about what cavemen had done to the women. Pickle's presence is known to Yujiro Hama, so he goes to meet him without hiding and goes to the army base where they were keeping Pickle, but he is stopped by 3 guards. Meanwhile, Retsu infiltrates a soldier's bedroom, and a guard instructs the protesters to stand back. The soldiers punch each other, with the final soldier beating himself. The man in black watches as the soldiers continue to hit each other as if it were punishment for misbehaving. Despite the guard's attempts to please him, Yujiro cuts through the lock with his bare hand and enters Pickle's place. Retsu follows the guard to Pickle's house and knocks him unconscious. Orachi Jack, Gokai, Katsumi, and Sea King Kaku appear inside the cage, all dressed in black. They all want to fight Pickle, but first they must figure out what Pickle is up to. Gokai wonders if Pickle even believes they are his enemies as he sleeps. Pickle goes outside to pee when Jack kicks the tree to wake him up. Then Yujiro arrives and says that Pickle, an ancient earth warrior, is named after a salted vegetable. Then a battle of muscle strength ensues, and Pickle is ecstatic to see a T-Rex in front of him when Yujiro releases his aura. Then Yujiro knocks Pickle down, but his simple actions capture the warrior's attention. Then Commander Henry appears and apologizes for bothering him. He clarifies that he is not being arrested because the U.S. Army cannot stop him. Pickle is a living world heritage and a cultural treasure to humanity. Yujiro agrees to retreat under one condition, that the other 8 should also leave. The saga of the world's most fearsome evening intruder comes to a close. Later, we see that Rumina asks Baki to beat Pickle, a Jurassic-era primitive man, in a cafe. Baki doesn't want to be the best fighter in the world, but he does want to fight and beat his father, Yujiro. He approaches Retsu and begs him to teach him kung fu, but Retsu refuses because he is uninterested. His mind is only focused on fighting the guy from the Jurassic period. Retsu understands that he should not be fighting, but his desire to fight a man is similar to love. He wishes to get to know him better, touch him, grasp him, and be with him. This obsession with the embodiment of savagery has evolved over the course of 4,000 years. Pickle is being held by the army at the arena, and in Tokyo's underground arena, Pickle hasn't eaten anything but water for a month. According to Professor Albert, Pickle is a highly proud warrior and ambitious fighter who won the Jurassic period versus the present without even fighting. However, one soldier has yet to be tried, and it will be expensive because it is a protected species on the verge of extinction. Standing up to Pickle, the Siberian tiger is a beast and the most powerful of the felines. The Siberian tiger is on the verge of extinction, but one has become Pickle's food. Intellectuals from all fields and conservation groups have vehemently objected, and some organizations intend to hold even more protests. Retsu goes to Tokugawa and requests that he find food for Pickle. He approaches Tokugawa about becoming its food, but Albert thinks this is ridiculous because a human opposes Pickle. Pickle awakens after sensing danger and realizes he is up against an insanely worthy opponent. He throws everything he has at him for the first time, putting Pickle's strength to the test. Pickle is surprised to see Retsu's blows toward the chin, totaling 6 consecutive blows. Pickle must have received at least a few thousand concussions. Pickle throws up his arms and lands on Retsu's body, briefly losing consciousness. He bites and eats him, oblivious to the pain caused by Retsu's punches. Retsu decides to abandon Kung Fu in favor of the windmill punch strategy, tactics, plans, efficiency, and all other tricks, but the martial arts did not leave him. Retsu regains his composure and attacks Pickle with Kung Fu, trusting in his own martial arts and everything to the bosom of martial arts. Professor Albert is astounded at Retsu's mastery of martial arts. He thinks Retsu's strength and endurance are incredible, but Tokugawa thinks Albert misunderstood his abilities. Pickle, discovered at a nuclear waste isolation plant in Colorado, has a remarkably thick and durable cervical spine. Bipedal creatures' necks are not comparable to humans, and the cervical spine is a beast's attack stance. dance. Retsu smashes Pickle with his crushing fist, igniting his entire body. This is the ultimate kung fu weapon, and Retsu, the extraordinary kung fu fighter, unleashes the impenetrable modern shield against the strongest ancient spear. However, he gets defeated by the caveman. But when Pickle goes to eat the remaining parts of Retsu, Pickle is shocked and enraged as Albert administers an anesthetic in him to save Retsu. Retsu is still alive, but one of his legs has been devoured. He awakens feeling guilty for breaking his promise to Pickle. Tokugawa visits him and discovers that the rumors about Retsu's death are wrong. However, he was eaten by the caveman. Then Baku arrives and explains that transforming one's body into a weapon has been their life, but Retsu now lost a part of his body. People were shocked to learn Retsu had been eaten. The news spreads among the members of the Atsuki base reunion, and he flees the room. The only other time this door has been broken in history was by Yuhiro Hama. Taichi Kanmaki, a 21-year-old martial artist, is looking for a fight partner as well as a playmate. He stops by an alley to pee one night, and Pickle steals his clothes. He is perplexed and has no idea who he is. In his era, he was lost, and his only habit was he only ate what attacked him. He now disguises himself in these clothes because he knows he can't survive otherwise. Professor Albert and Tokugawa are both fascinated by martial arts and Retsu's incredible abilities. They are taken aback by the outcome of Pickle and Retsu's match and the difficulties in their quest for victory. The martial artists at the Shinshinkai Dojo gather to plot vengeance for Retsu, who had his leg eaten by Pickle and escaped. Pickle is currently on the run, and police are on the lookout for him. In Tokyo, there are 43,000 police officers and 55,000 Shinshinkai members, with Orochi and Katsumi as the primary targets. Pickle is wandering through the red light district and having a 3-hour consultation with a waiter. Joe, a Shinshinkai member, interferes with his business and wishes to take Pickle away. At the same time, Katsumi is arguing with his father, Orochi, who disagrees with his actions and claims that you can't beat Pickle. Katsumi refers to Orochi's statement that there would be disagreements at branch chief meetings if this occurred. The members of the Shinshinkai Dojo threaten the waiter, but they don't expect Hanayama, who introduces himself as Terada from Shinshinkai, to take Pickle away. Pickle punches Hanayama in the face, and the two fight, breaking the knife. Katsumi is competing against his father, Orochi, who is defeated. He expresses regret for employing the technique on his father. Like a dinosaur, Pickle senses Hanayama's power and unexpectedly pushes him back. Hanayama is linked to various social situations and has gained godlike strength that defies human comprehension. Pickle's opponents paled in comparison to this man's godlike inner strength. The fighters wait with bated breath as Baki and Hanayama accompany him after knocking out his father. They arrive in high spirits, only to discover that Pickle has vanished. Katsumi bowed his head and begged everyone to assist him in finding Pickle. Pickle brings Baki to Tokyo's arena, where he never expected to be. He inquires what he intends to do now that he has arrived. Tokugawa yells that he's going to pick a fight with Baki, and Hanayama reminds Baki that he doesn't want to involve this naive guy. Hanayama awakens, fearful of repeating the error he made 5 years ago while explaining Pickle. Tatsumi is training Retsu, who has come to find him. Retsu has heard a strange rumor that Shinshinkai members are plotting his vengeance. Katsumi admits that vengeance is a convenient slogan for him, but he will fight if he can win. Retsu believes that Kung Fu has a 4,000-year history, but karate has only been around for 500 years since it arrived in Okinawa. As the 501st year approaches, Retsu wishes to assist Katsumi with the 500th year of karate, which will mark the start of a revolutionary trail that will be trodden. Baki is a young man determined to improve his clinching Kai dojo skills. He is a skilled fighter who has achieved greatness with a single blow. Retsu and Katsumi ask Baki to perfect the mock punch move, which he believes he is the only one who has ever mastered. Retsu and Katsumi are determined to construct a facility capable of safely containing Pickle, who has been sedated with 140 dozen barrels of chloroform. Tokugawa believes there is no need for a facility to house Pickle, and he chooses to stay here alone. Retsu and Katsumi are still looking for ways to improve the mock punch, beginning with the big toes and fully utilizing all 10 points. They believe that the backbone, comprised of 31 bone joints, is crucial to this move because each joint must twist at a rate faster than 100 kph. They believe that the spine is essential because it is made up of 31 bone joints. Katsumi wonders if this will suffice for the mock punch. Retsu believes that the spine is important because it comprises 31 bone joints, with 17 joints capable of accelerating simultaneously. A total of 27 points of movement are possible. The lock speed can be broken, giving the move even more power. Katsumi believes that increasing the speed and weight of his fist is possible, and that he can achieve even more significantly by thrusting with the first through third joints of the fingers. He also makes a piercing new kite with his head, the heaviest part of the human body. When Sea Emperor Kaku appears and observes Ritsu's and Katsumi's practice, they are taken aback. He instructs Retsu to hold an egg in his hand and cut it with his hand to prevent it from falling. He explains that Kaku only needs the ones from his shoulder to his fingers, and that, in reality, he has achieved supersonic speed. Katsumi is skeptical because his imagination knows no bounds. He thinks the egg is a body encased in a shell to protect its frail body. He imagines that animals such as giraffes, tigers, leopards, and cobras have evolved to survive, and that their survival is due to their tenacity of life. They were able to achieve incredible evolutionary changes as a result of this. Katsumi imagines like this. No, like this. No, like this. This is it. He was successful and can feel it now. His preparations are complete, and his stance is required to throw the most powerful punch. His image of the joints is like this, and he is trembling. He's shaking before making such an ordinary move in a dojo. He throws a punch into the air that breaks all the glass windows even further back. He could hear the sound of that move from a long distance away. Baki believes he must hurry from now on and begin training as he imagines himself fighting a mammoth. Thanks for watching. If this series is the most liked in my anime recap production, I will make a part 2. Also, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to help me make more content.